Why do we keep playing games that make us absolutely miserable? I'm talking about hero shooters, specifically Overwatch. It's a game where you can be playing the match of your life, only to have your entire strategy dismantled by one person who decided to play a character they've seen in 3 TikToks. But despite the frustration, we can't stop. Why? Most shooters are about raw aim. Who can click the head the fastest? But hero shooters, they're different. They aren't just about reflexes. They're about psychology, role fantasy, and a very specific kind of mental stimulation. Today, I want to break down the magic behind the hero shooter loop and why these games grip us so tightly, even when we're screaming at our teammates. Let's talk about the actual feel of the game. For me, the draw isn't just the shooting, it's the moment-to-moment chaos of a team fight. If you strip away the flashy effects and the voice lines, a team fight in Overwatch is essentially high-speed chess. Think about it. You aren't just clicking heads, you're managing resources. If the enemy team drops their shields, that's my cue to engage. If they bring out a specific counter hero, I have to pivot. It's a constant stream of, if they do X, then I do Y. That mental tug of war is addictive. It's the feeling of outsmarting an opponent in real time, and that's a much higher high than just having a better flick shot. So why do people play these games in the first place? It comes down to the core game loop. In a standard shooter, you're a soldier. In a hero shooter, you're a specialist. You aren't just playing a game, you're filling a role. Whether you're the frontline tank absorbing all the damage, or the support keeping the team alive by a thread, there's a psychological reward in being the missing piece of the puzzle. The loop is simple. Pick a fantasy, master a kit, execute a strategy, win. But the mastery part is where the hook sinks in. You start by learning what the buttons do, but you end by learning the geometry of the map and the timing of the cooldowns. You aren't just playing a character, you're mastering a system. Now this is where the psychology gets messy. Hero shooters have a brutal learning curve. At first, it's overwhelming. You're trying to track 6 different abilities while someone is diving your backline. But that steep climb is actually what keeps players invested. It's called the IKEA effect. We value things more when we put effort into building them. The struggle to get good is what makes the victory feel earned. However, that feeling is entirely dependent on matchmaking. When matchmaking works, it's a masterpiece. You're pushed to your absolute limit. But when it fails, it ruins the psychology. If the match is too easy, there's no growth. If it's too hard, the chess element disappears and it just feels like you're being bullied by a professional player. The quality of your experience isn't decided by your skill, but by the algorithm's ability to find your equal. One interesting thing about this genre is that the skills don't stay in the game. If you spend hundreds of hours in Overwatch, you're subconsciously training your brain for other genres. You're developing game sense. That's the ability to predict an enemy's movement based on a sound cue or a gap in the front line. That spatial awareness carries over to battle royales, MOBAs, and even traditional tactical shooters. You stop looking at the crosshair and start looking at the map. You start thinking in terms of zones of influence. So, why do we keep coming back? It's because hero shooters are the perfect intersection of mechanical skill and psychological strategy. They take the visceral thrill of a shooter and layer it with the intellectual depth of a strategy game. We don't play them because they're relaxing. We play them because of the mental payoff of a perfectly executed team fight is unmatched. If you spent way too many hours in these games, let me know in the comments. Which hero made you fall in love with the genre, and which one makes you want to uninstall the game? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.